Hey, it's Puddle, and this is my Comodo legend run as Slayer. Alright, let's get into it. So our team consists of myself as Slayer, 2 Saints that multi as DAs, and 2 RMs. Now I'm just gonna try and highlight my point of view and tasks that I perform during all these floors. So the first floor, we are fighting the dragon, and as Slayer, you primarily want to target the 2 dragons it spawns and act as a res slave. You ideally need to keep white barrier up, but you can see right here, my white barrier did not proc the second time right there yet. I didn't have enough time to hit it. That's okay though, because our Saint was still alive, was able to get a res and help out as much as I can. Now, my DPS isn't whaley. I just have a lot of great enchants and plus 15 weapon that helps. And I am using a seed card here so I can get heals while I'm attacking. And what you want to do, you want to keep 200 ignore MDef up, and I think that's key. You just want to keep any cast reduction gear up. If you have the fate wheel back, that helps a lot. So here, there's not too much to the second floor. It's pretty straightforward. Once the MVP spawns the Rook, you want to have 1 RM taunt or a DA taunt the Rook. And what you just want to do is drop it as fast as you can, act as a slave reser if the priests are down, because with the white barrier rune, you can instant cast res. It ignores the cast time once you hit white barrier and then hit the leaf to res them. So you can see throughout this video, I try my best to do so, and sometimes like this, you get a long cast time. So white barrier doesn't work 100% of the time. And right there, I got it. So got it twice. And third, yeah, I don't know, twice or 3 times there. It helps a lot because white barrier and or your gold skill can avoid death. So for skills, on auto, you just need compound and dim wind. Sometimes I toggle Dynas Blast on or off, and you just need to manually your jelly, preferably throw down a flow break once in a while, and yeah, pretty easy compared to the first floor. I mean, it's easier, I should say. So I'm skipping those instances in between each floor. I cut them out for the purpose of this video, so it's not super long. But right here you can see the DA left the party, and the purpose we do that is the last person that joins the party and enters the instant is targeted by one of the MVPs with a meteor storm, and if you have that, you can destroy your whole party. So we had a little bit of a premature start here. Our DA just went ahead and started the instance. So what we do is 1 DA runs to the top right of the map and drags as many MVPs to the left, while the other DA, as you can see here, is taunting Nuka. And we try to drop it as fast as we can before it decides to run to the left side of the map and target the other DA. Now, when it breaks away from the group, it is targeting somebody with Azura. So you see here, he just ran to the left, And it's important to keep your graphics on maximum here, so you can see an icon above your head. You can see there, it's a blue icon there. Someone just ran north, and that is an instant Azura skill, and it'll kill you no matter what. And the only way to avoid that is to continually run away, and it should fade if you get far enough. So that's Nuka's strategy, and we try not to run to the left of the map. The rest of the team should stick to the right, hug the wall as much as possible. There's sometimes rogue MVPs like Joelle, which is fine to keep on the right. It doesn't really affect us too much. We can tank him and try to avoid his traps on the floor. And sometimes if you're targeted by another MVP like Kimura or Pakurani, then you want to run to the left and hand off that MVP to the other DA to taunt it, and then quickly run back. Ideally, the whole DPS team should hug the right side of the wall as much as possible. Drop Nuka as fast as you can. Just killed it there. Now, this part's kind of crucial. You can see we have 9 out of 10 reses left, which is really good. Some people like to anti-death. You can see people run to certain corners and eat some more foods. But this can also happen after you drop Joelle. And sometimes we start off with Joelle just because he's on that side and it's just convenient for us. Otherwise, on typical runs, we also drop Kimura first. So here you can see that one of the MVPs is targeting me, and I'm just trying to run back to the left, passing it off, but I lost the aggro and I died. During this run, since we only run one Saint, we both rely on each other to keep each other alive the entire time. So we always will have a reser available to res any of your party members. So here we have Joelle, and we're trying to ground to the right corner and drop him fast, but you can see Kimura is being a little annoying and keeps running to the right, but luckily our DA was able to recover her and taunt her back to the left. So I just try and flow break as much as possible, avoid bombs, avoid traps on the floor, keep a white barrier up. Yeah. Joelle drops pretty fast if you have him hugged and your RMs are targeting it. He's not too challenging. I would say, 80% of the runs fail because the beginning taunt with Nuka doesn't go successfully. So we were able to drop Joelle, and now the team tries their best to refood. So if there's health plants on the ground, you want to try to move away from them in order to refood. And because we have flame shield or flame root as a skill, you can't eat food. So try to not have prep for elite and quickly eat some food to avoid death. Here, the RMs just wanted to target me in the corner, but I was able to avoid those bombs. Tried to flow break the MVPs as fast as possible and help out with DPS. Now, my DPS isn't major on these floors. It really only comes into play on the last MVP, which you'll see is a bit of a longer task because it's quite tricky. It requires Saint and Slayer. what I didn't really cover here is there is a debuff of long cast time that the MVPs can give you, and they also can steal your SP. So try to hotkey some honey and obviously some mead berries. Sometimes there's a debuff also that doesn't allow you to use any foods. So if that happens and long cast time happens, you won't be able to use white barrier to avoid death. So it's GG after that. Ideally, you're communicating with your team and your saint to let them know where you're at if you die. You also want to make sure that your saint has Suffer GM on preferably and also on their manual skill, and that helps you keep white barrier up. So now that we dropped the third MVP, we all run, we spread out, try to anti-death food again. You can see there mine failed, and I was like, you know what, let's just start it. So I ran to the mid of the map. Ideally you want to run to the center, because with this MVP, in order to counter its self-heal, and when you're in the center of the map, you have more visibility to move your screen around in order to locate if it has spawned its elf. So right there, top left of your screen, you see that elemental elf, and once that spawns, it takes about 7 seconds. If you see it right away, it's 7 seconds. So we try to count 5 because of all these graphics, it's hard to see where it is. So once it spawns, someone shouts out that it spawned. The saint will then count 5 seconds and cast Cure Barrier, just like that. And it takes a split second to cast it right before the elf uses its heal skill. And that heal skill will, if done correctly, it will do damage to the MVP. So what we figured out is once it uses its AoE heal skill, we can also count approximately 12 to 13 seconds in order for it to spawn again. So it's a continual 13 seconds, 5 seconds, 13 seconds, 5 seconds, and so on. Now we just discovered this week because we found it hard to locate, and I think it has to do with the angle of the new 2.5D, perspective. So this took us a little longer than usual. You can see the timestamp on the top right. So I just decided to fast forward this. It's pretty dry, but we slowly chip away at it and we're able to get the kill near the end.
thanks everyone for watching the video. If you could like, comment, any feedbacks, appreciate it. Thanks.